In this video, we're going to talk about the naming of organisms, the scientific names, and a little bit about taxonomy, in other words, how things are classified. Open your top drawer in your dresser. What do you have up there? Most likely you don't have your socks, your underwear, your dress shirts, your t-shirts, your pants, and all that. No, you probably have them organized or classified into different drawers. These underwear are similar. These socks are similar to one another. These pants are, you see what I'm getting at? So we classify a lot, and humans like to classify. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. I'm back at the USDA plants database. Now I've chosen Asclepias tuberosa, which is our butterfly milkweed. Okay, and I just want to show you Asclepias tuberosa. That means one thing, one plant. I'm coming over here to the Lady Bird Johnson site. Look at Asclepias tuberosa. There it is. Our butterfly milkweed. Oh wait, no, it's the butterfly weed. No, wait, maybe it's the orange. No, is it the pleurisy root? Oh no, it's chicory flower. What the heck is going on? Common names are awful. Common names are awful. When you start getting into plants, you're going to be using that that Latin name. It's not always Latin. There's some Greek in there, but let's just say scientific names, okay? So I just wanted to show you the common names, the problem with common names. I'm going back to the USDA site, and I'm coming down, and look what they have done for us. They've given us the scientific name and common name and a classification report for this particular plant, Asclepias tuberosa. So notice at the bottom, that's extremely specific. That's one plant. And we could further divide that in maybe into a subspecies, okay? Or maybe into a variety, but that's very, very specific. If I said, oh look, here's a plant in the kingdom Plantae, that means nothing except that it's a plant, okay? But this is the classification scheme that Carolus Linnaeus started using way back when. You know, he used to pontificate. He'd walk, in his long robe, and everybody would follow him and bow to him, his graciousness. And, if he didn't like you, he might name a plant after you. And maybe it was the stinky, nasty, little rotten smelling skunkweed or something like that. So he'd call it Skunkweedia gravii or something like that. And anyway, he was a real character, but he did a great service for us in being able to classify these things. Now everything is classified according to evolutionary relationships, and we're constantly changing our ideas about evolutionary relationships as we look more at the genetic information and data. Okay, so here's Asclepias tuberosa. It's in the kingdom Plantae. There's a subkingdom. So plants, all the plants in the world, they're under Plantae. That's pretty general, isn't it? The subkingdom Tracheobionta. Those are the vascular plants. So now we're just talking about plants that have some type of vascular tissue. It's plumbing, really, right? To get water up and down. So everything that's not a vascular plant is in a different subkingdom. Superdivision. Oh, these are the seed plants. Well, what's not in this superdivision? Plants that don't make seeds. Okay? Then the next division, this is called a division. These are the flowering plants. The class, these are the dicotyledons. In other words, the eudicots, the monocots aren't here. They're in a different class. The subclass Asteridae, order, family, very important, ACEAE, ACE, that all the plant families end in ACE. And here's the genus Asclepias. This L period, it was described by Linnaeus. Asclepias tuberosa is the species name. Remember, Asclepias is the genus. Tuberosa is the specific epithet. Asclepias tuberosa is the species name. Okay, so this is a very simple explanation of a classification system. You could do this with a butterfly that you found. You could do this with an alligator. Would all have these different rankings and groups that gets us to something very, very general to very, 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 very specific. I'm going back to the Gila flora, and I want to show you something that you'll see from time to time. So here's Asclepias tuberosa. This happens to be the subspecies interior. Russ Kleinman put this together as only using one common name, the most common name for that species in our area. The family, it's native, but look, synonyms. So as we find out new information, these names change. The plant family names change. Certain things that were in family A get moved to family B. Things get split up. Things get lumped together. So, but just deal with that. That's the way it is. What it means is that we are learning more and more information about these plants. Hopefully, we're getting closer and closer to truly understanding the evolutionary relationships. Sometimes it just takes a long time. Science is not static. Science will change as new information becomes available, as new techniques. DNA technology was a gigantic one for us to understand. But look at this synonym. So you'll see synonyms, and that can be helpful because you might see a plant and you say, I don't know, I can't find it in Gila flora, and you've been looking on the Lady Bird Johnson site, but there'll be a synonym on there, and you might be able to find the synonym in Gila flora, or vice versa. So when I put these links together with these plants, I oftentimes would use these different sites and the synonyms to get to find a plant, because sometimes it would be on Gila flora and not on LBJ, so etc. Okay, that was just a quick introduction, but it's interesting stuff, and it's important stuff. The Latin or the scientific names are extremely important, and as you get further into these plants, you're going to start to call them just naturally by their Latin name, and sometimes you're going to forget their common name.